Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 28th, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, presented by Mercury. We're going to head up to the Big Lake with Tom Ott up there at Guntersville. Man, I still keep seeing them Facebook posts. You and Miss Jennifer, you're smacking them. Tell me what's going on up there.
Oh, well, like I said, so you get lucky every now and again. But I tell you, Dan, we're this weather. We've had some really cold weather this week. It looks like things. We had some big hard wind this week as well. So, now we're going to see the lake with a little color to it. Hopefully, we're going to get some consistently cold weather. We're going to see those fish maybe start to group up a little bit and get in those winter haunts. We're still seeing. One or two fish, and then you got to move on. Just not a lot of quality, but they're there. I mean, so we're still catching. We're using the same baits, chatter baits. I'm kind of excited about next weekend. Looking for some color to that water. I think the chatterbait bite's really going to pick up some. Still catching them on swim bait. I can't get Jennifer to stop showing out with that big worm, but she's finally changed colors on that thing. But still catching big fish. Hitting that mid lake area. I did catch a few fish over the past week, out a little bit deeper, so that was kind of encouraging. We're starting to see some 10 to 12 foot, maybe some shell beds. Looking at those points that are facing upriver, but those fish are there. And picked up a few catfish and a couple of stripe along the way too. So,
Did you knock the sides on those things and catch and release into the grease, or did you just get rid of them?
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten to the point of throwing those catfish in the new boat
yet. Well, let's turn to the crappie bite up there. I've been hearing some reports of some big, up to 15-inch crappie being caught.
Well, the crappie bites, just going to continue to get better the closer and the colder we get. We're still seeing that 10 to 12 foot range is really where, the majority of things are happening. Laydowns, docks, but we're starting to really see those creek channels come on. The causeways obviously are going to be big magnets. But if you're going to get away from the crowd a little bit and find those bigger fish, you're going to have to kind of search for them. And again, I think those creek channels, bends in the creek channels in that 10 to 12 foot range, that's where we're starting to see those groups come.
So it looks like it might be time to go grab a swim bait that's about that big when those big crappie are off the edge of those docks. See if you can throw something that resembles, a 2x4. See if you catch a big bass, because I bet you they're hanging around. Hey, Tom, thanks as always for spending this time. We hope you and Jen had a great Thanksgiving, and we will talk to you again next week.
I ate plenty, so thank you, Dano. Y'all have a great one. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye now.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 28th, presented by Mercury. Stay tuned, and these guys will give you what they know to be able to catch a few more fish. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 28th, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, presented by Mercury. Hey, we're going to spend some time with our good friend Justin Elliott, our pro staffer from the area. But Justin, you've been spending some time on Logan Martin and Lay Lake recently. Tell us what you've got going on down there.
Which one you want to do first, Dana?
Let's do Logan Martin.
Logan is typical fall Logan Martin. It's finally kind of hitting its stride. I've been chasing the fish back in the creeks. They're kind of stacking up on the flats back in the creeks. Throwing the fun stuff at them, throwing swim baits and rattle traps at them, and having some really good success doing it. Catching some decent fish on the main lake on deeper rock banks, throwing a jerk bait, the +1. Been catching some fish on the +1. And man, had some fish coming up out of 16, 17 foot of water, eating that thing in when it's down 4 foot. Man, they knocked the rod out of your hand. It was a blast.
I'm assuming if you're fishing those main lake stuff, you're looking at spotted bass more likely.
Oh, yeah. Is there any other kind of fish to catch?
Well, we like some largemouth in the backs of those pockets too.
Yeah,
let's talk about Lay Lake. Well, let's talk about Lay Lake real quick. I know there's a Bassmaster Open, so the place is getting pounded, and I'm sure that's affecting the bite. What have you heard down there?
So down there is kind of the same thing that I'm doing at Logan on the main lake. Hadn't been catching them in the backs of the creeks at Lay as much. Been doing the main lake thing. Caught some fish on a rig, caught some fish on a single swim bait. And the jerk bait's still a player down there. The fish are really responding to the jerk bait down there a little bit more than they are on Logan, honestly. they school a little better on lay, in my opinion, than they do on Logan.
A little bit more standing timber and stuff out there, I think. Here at Neely Henry, we're kind of seeing some crappie fishermen that are still out on the ledges. Are you seeing the same kind of thing at those two lakes down there?
Honestly, I don't crappie fish down there that much, but you don't see as many people pushing or trolling down there as you do on Neely. So the guys I've seen that are crappie fishing are shooting docks down there.
Dock fishing and shooting docks is a lot of fun and a great way to catch some big crappie. I know that. But overall, the bite seems to be decent. Water's clearing, and that's what you're seeing overall.
Yep, water quality's good. Water temperature's falling, as we would expect for it to be. Fall, granted, we're here in winter, but, we're kind of on a fall pattern in the middle of winter now.
Well, Justin, as always, we thank you for everything, and we appreciate you spending some time with us here on our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday.
No problem at all. Hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving, and Dano, please don't eat your weight in turkey.
That's really hard to do.
See y'all.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 28th. We're going to head out up to Weiss Lake with the crappie king of Weiss Lake, Lee Pitts. Lee, tell us what's going on up there at Weiss Lake and the bass fishing and the crappie.
Well, it's things are starting to pick up a little bit with our crappie fishing. I've been out on the water catching crappie, and we're catching a lot of little fish, which is a good thing. Where the numbers are picking up, catching some small fish, below the 10-inch size limit, but also catching some good keepers out there. A lot of our better fish are still coming on a vertical drop, getting out there on the creek ledges and the river channels, dropping live bait down, catching some good fish, getting around that wood cover. And some fish are being caught long line trolling. They're getting back in the creeks and trying to feed up a little bit. So catching them really three ways. There's some dock shooters, catching some fish on some docks right now. Some of the better fish are coming off docks.
Sounds like the bass bites kind of stayed about where it's at, kind of fish moving into the backs and able to catch them a lot of different ways, crankbaits, spinnerbaits, that. But let's go ahead and let's turn our attention to Neely Henry now. Tell me about the bass bite down there. What are you hearing from Neely Henry?
A lot of the guys I've talked to down there and seeing them there at the Coosa Landing and talking to them, catching some fish on some rattle traps, square bills, getting out there on the river. A couple of guys were getting some topwater bites. I think it's kind of getting slow on the topwater right now, but mostly throwing rattle traps around those eddy spots and on the hard gravel bottom.
What area of the lake do you think you'd kind of focus on and concentrate on right now if you were going to be there?
Most of the guys that I've seen, I've been down there doing some crappie fishing too, but most of the guys are fishing Main Lake, heading down a little bit. I've been staying down that way and seeing a lot of the traffic, been down there shooting docks and things like that. So most of the guys, they're kind of ripping and romping anywhere from Mid Lake down to 77, easing on down, going towards Canoe.
Bass bite's going to be there. The crappie bite's going to be there. We're seeing some crappie fishermen that are kind of off the ledges too. So they're probably vertically jigging for the crappie there. Is that the kind of same thing you'd be running down there? Is the same kind of pattern at Neely?
Yeah, same thing. We've had to battle with some wind the last week or two. If you can get around some of those docks out there, anywhere from 4 to 8 foot of water, got some pretty good water on it, catching some of the better fish shooting docks with a Cajun cricket, bluegrass, and that mayfly and the Bobby Garland bait. That seems to be the color that everybody's going to right now.
Well, Lee, as always, we appreciate the time. Thanks for spending some time with us on our report.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 28th. The Saturday after Thanksgiving. Hey, remember, it's Black Bass Saturday. Yesterday was Black Friday. I hope you get to go fishing this morning and you get to catch a few fish. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all our social media channels. That way you get to see when everything goes live here at Bucks Island, from all of our live videos to our fishing reports. And we appreciate you spending some time with us.